Yeah, I think first of all, man, I'm glad today's finally here. Recruiting has been a long journey this past season. When you think about all these high school players that we started off, over thousands back when we first got here trying to recruit this class, and to get narrowed down to this group right here, 21 high school recruits that going to come a part of our family now. We're extremely excited about that. You know, we have several players, 5 players from the state of Ohio. I think obviously we want to start right here in the city of Cincinnati and work within that 3 to 4 hour radius all the way up through our state. We're really proud of this state of how good the high school football is and how great the high school coaches do. They do an absolute great job. One of some of the best in the country in recruiting or in coaching their players in high school and developing them. When they get to college, they're ready to go. They've been coached hard, and you like what you're going to get when they come to your program. Um, I'm excited also because there's been a lot of hard work that's been put in. Starting with our recruiting department, Zach Grant, and those guys that are in there. I mean, they do a fabulous job. I mean, they tirelessly been working all year, not only identifying talent but also in the communication. I mean, Cass has done great. Carter, Jack, all those people. Caroline, putting together all the visits that are on the campus. I mean, so many great things that they did, and our coaches, have worked their butt off to try to put this class together too. The thing we wanted to set out in this class to find number one, obviously good players, but really more important for me is great men. Character was at one of the high priorities when you're thinking about this class and what we're bringing in here. These are some outstanding young people with great families. We got to know them over the period of basically a year. And we're so excited about getting them here. And 10 of them are coming early. So we'll have 10 guys in January that will be early enrollees, which is almost half your class, which is really really great. We're excited about getting those guys here and start working early. Um, you know, we also at this point in time, we've announced some these transfers that will be here as well. I think right now we're sitting at 8. The guy that'll be here early is also, and that we're not done with that either. When it opens back up in January 3rd, I believe we'll be able to host some more to try to get some more in here before the semester starts in January. So we'll continue to work on that throughout Christmas to get more guys in here. Um, but I think again, just excited about this group and excited to get them here.
Yeah, a lot of guys that come from winning programs, quite a few state champions on this list. Where on the priority list is kids that play for winning
Mm-hmm.
programs, play for
Yeah.
programs that historically are well coached, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly that's an added bonus. You never know when you're recruiting them how good their team may or may not be. That is, but it is awesome to see. Like Dakar is Perry has our first state championship at their high school. That's awesome. And he's such a great leader for their team and playmaker. That we didn't know that coming into it, but we know he's a great person, and to be able to see that happen was awesome. Several others that won state championships and that played for it. A lot of these guys were captains of their team. Those are the kind of players we're looking to find. Leadership, character, all those type things. You want to surround everybody in that locker room with our locker room with those type people.
Samaj Jones headlines the quarterback position for this class and the quarterback you guys are bringing in. What made him that guy that you guys targeted early on
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah. Samaj was a guy we recruited heavily at when we were at Louisville, and continue that relationship once we got to Cincinnati, and then he was able to come down. Him and his mom several times. He came to 2 or 3 games in the fall. I think early on we saw him in camp about 2 years ago, and loved the way he threw the football, but also he could run. At that time, I think he was a 4'6" guy. He was probably close to 195 at that point in time. So he had good size. He could run, he could throw. He hit the ball. Really, what sold us in camp was the ball jumped off his hand, and I think and just really tracking him. And Coach Thomas went and watched him play in the playoffs the last couple of weeks. They ended up winning a state championship, and I think in the state championship game, he's 14 for 17, a couple of touchdowns, and then rushed for 125, a few more touchdowns. So he's that kind of dual threat that we like. He's a solid build guy. He's not extremely tall, but he's put together. So we love the versatility and the playmaking ability. He's very knowledgeable in football, and we're so glad to get him. And then, quite honestly, to be able to get him early, we anticipated didn't think we were going to be able to make that happen, but he did things he had to do on his part to be able to come in here early. That's huge. You think about the guys we got coming in that quarterback room, that's going to be a great competition this spring in the quarterback room. Essentially you have all your guys here that'll be competing in the spring, and then we'll see how that comes out. But that's going to be a great competition and a bunch of great quarterbacks.
You mentioned Dakari Anderson.
Yeah.
What is it about that archetype?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for us in our offense, you want those guys that are quick, but also have some speed. Dakari's very solid. He's put together. Built. Like a Braden Smith. I think Kale's a little not as big, but it has some juice. He can go, and so I think for that position there, we do so much. As far as motions, the jet sweeps, the fly motions, but also we want those guys to be able to to knock the top off down the middle of the field, and so to be able to have those two guys that come in here and really gives us some more options. We like what we have coming back, with some of the guys on our team now, but with AT and Barry Jackson and these guys that are coming back that play similar positions, it just gives you a lot of guys where you can kind of really, do a lot more with that position with those type athletes.
Seems like you had a lot of different guys. Athleticism. Was that I guess, kind of focus this all season to add more athleticism?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly want to get some more speed. I think speed's the name of the game, really at any position that you have. The other thing that I think, that we look to address is also a little bit, with some length. You think about, Gavin Grover and Sahersky at tight end. I mean, those are Big 12 looking like tight ends. Be able to bring in here that have some great size, also with good hands and soft hands. You think about some of the guys, the DBs. With Zay Johnson, who's 6'3", you get some more length right there. Willie Goodwin 6'1". So I mean, those corners that have a little bit more length, like some of the guys we've had here in the past. You love to be able to have that, but also that athleticism and speed. I mean, you have to be able to have that speed. You're really excited. Marquez Parker is a guy who he thinks, got great size and quick twitch. I think he came to camp for us last year and really put on a show, and got coached hard by Coach Stu, and then but at that size, being able to move like he does, man, we're excited about getting him as well. But so there's a lot of things in this class that you're excited about, and with the speed, the size, and really addressing a lot of the needs that we had on this team that we need to continue to build out.
Obviously, a big emphasis on the defensive backs and longer
Mhm.
guys there. How does it help you when you can say, Oscar,
Yeah.
Here's a guy that
Mhm.
coached.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's, great points. I mean, we certainly use those guys, that guys have played here, that had great careers here, that have gone on to be some of the top DBs in the National Football League. And and then Coach Combs has been a guy who's coached, first rounders. He's coached in the NFL. He's seen what it takes to get those guys to that next level. Did a great job recruiting these guys, and these guys, they have a lot of promise. Obviously we wouldn't have signed them if they didn't. Now it's up to us, to them and us, when we get here to continue to develop them. They do have the traits that we feel like it takes to be a very successful defensive back. But now at this point, like, listen, how much stronger can you get and faster can you get with the size that you have, to be able to come in here and have a huge impact, in the defensive back room.
Really flashed there at the end of his high school recruiting. While you talk about the defensive backs, talk about what he brings to the table. Obviously, skill and length is there. Talk about what he brings to the table a little bit more.
Talking about Daniel James. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, number one, awesome family, awesome kid. I mean, he's just really what you're looking for character-wise. Comes from a really good high school program there. I mean, it's like a small college. I mean, these guys are competing at a high level just within their school, as well as the teams they're playing. But very athletic. He's a guy who ran track and runs track and does a great job of that. One of the better track runners there is in the state of Georgia. And you take that athleticism and with his size and the way he can move and flip his hips. I mean, we feel like, man, it's a really good player that has versatility. He's a guy that can play corner, he can play safety, and play nickel. There's a lot of things he can do, and with that versatility, with that size and speed, so he'll be one that you can't wait for him to get here, so you can start looking at him and figuring out where exactly you want to use him.
Brendan Sorsby made a target pretty quick. Once he entered the portal, he was here that first